welcome to Coffee Regular, everybody.
This is mine, correct?
That is yours.
I grabbed yours and I was like, and now she's like, oh, that's mine. I was like,
Wait, other mics, not you.
yeah, we got the tonics today. Introducing Ashley to the tonics.
Yes,
Yeah,
delicious.
Like, what are you talking here? Like,
I think this
wait,
is...
let me guess.
Oh, yeah.
Light roast?
What?
Light roast?
I think it's white belt, actually. So, I think it's white belt from Crown Shark.
What roast is white belt?
It's
our
their
latest, right?
natural.
It's
Yeah,
So
okay.
it has it has the cherry on it, and I let the cherry dry in the sun.
Nice.
So it has like sweet caramelizes to it.
I need to order some. Yeah, need to get on that.
It's the goodness.
It's pretty good.
Huh?
It's nice and refreshing.
Is
Coffee
Very
tonics.
refreshing.
It's your first experience with the coffee tonic?
Yes, I was excited to try. I had heard about them, obviously, through you guys. And it doesn't really seem like it would make sense or be a good idea, but they're very, very refreshing.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's a good mix on like just straight iced coffee or something. Like you don't want that or
Yeah.
If you've had 7 iced coffees
Exactly.
already and you just need one that's not.
you cut it a little bit with that tonic. Is this the fever tree too?
Yeah, always.
Always fever tree.
Yeah. No, I tried like when I first started making them. To figure it out, I just got like a regular generic bottle of tonic water.
Sure.
Not as good.
Yeah.
No, not as good. It has to be fever tree. And like my original instructions, they specifically said fever tree.
Interesting.
They're like, we've experimented. It's the best.
Sure.
I was like, I believe you. This costs a lot of money. I need to figure this out first.
Fair. Yeah.
So, I'm kind of always stocked. People think I'm some sort of fancy alcoholic.
Sure. Right.
I'm like, no, it's for coffee.
It's for coffee.
Then they just think I'm insane.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm neighbor repellent, dude.
Yeah, I was definitely in my old neighborhood. Was like definitely the weird neighbor. Never really knew what I was going to be doing. Punching bag out back.
Yeah.
Also gardening. Also walking my dog. Just really confused.
I know I'm gonna be the weird one at this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
I'm excited for you
I'm
guys.
You should move in next to me. Be all right.
Right?
We'll be weird neighbors together.
We'll just
Make a weird commune. Of
Yeah, we'll just have a
houses and,
commune. It'll
we'll
be
have
fine.
it's like a community training deck in the middle.
Yes, living
Oh,
our
that'd be
best
sick.
lives.
That would be dope, dude.
That would be amazing.
That'd be
That's
cool.
the dream right there.
And then we could like host jujitsu camps there
Yeah.
and bring people in. That'd be tight, dude.
That's pretty much,
I mean,
yeah.
that's what our like what is speakeasy like
Sure.
part 2 basically.
Oh, yeah. Underground gym.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Right. In nature, you can get your grounding in, do some yoga in the grass.
Well, I mean, the throw deck's going to go in soon.
Yeah, he's
I didn't show you that end of the yard.
No, you
Where the Miyagi side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn it into Mr. Miyagi's backyard over there.
perfect.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
to complete that, you should have like 4 more trees and just block everything out.
Don't worry, that's going to happen. I'm thinking, heck, they might show up today. But I'll have at least 3 behind you
Yeah.
that are
That'd be
going to
nice.
start small and get bigger.
Yeah, juniper. You said.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I let my dude do his thing.
Sure.
I kind of give him
Fair.
a general idea. and
Sometimes
just let
you
him go.
gotta just bow to the experience, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't do landscaping. I can grow food,
Yeah.
but clearly I can't grow grass. It's driving me nuts. But
It's
what
your
can
cow
you do?
food.
I was gonna say it's Mike.
Oh yeah, I was
I
like,
got you. That's not. No, it's my sister. What's she doing? I'll check that. Yeah. No, I suck at landscaping, so I hire for that.
That's fair. Sometimes you just.
And my front yard looked like that when we moved in.
Yeah.
That's not me in it.
That's not you.
Yeah,
Good.
so-
Noted.
Yeah.
You got the bananas under control though.
Hey, that's what
all you
that's
need.
what we do. Yeah, I showed her the banana flower.
oh yeah.
No one's ever seen one.
It is impressive in real life.
It's amazing.
Spiders not included.
Nope. No, but there's a wasp that lives over there that fucking loves it.
Interesting.
Naturally.
Yeah. There's one wasp every time I go over, just like, sup? I'm like, it's my tree, bro. We can share.
I saw like bees were producing weird colored honey from somewhere. Because
Yeah.
they were eating M&M shells from like
Oh, dude.
the nearby whatever. And
That's
like
awesome.
their honey was like green or blue or like brown or something. It produced insane colored honey. I mean, it looks cool, but it's probably fucked up for other reasons, like because of
Sure.
the dye and like, oh, you know, whatever. But kind of cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like right out of a Thor movie or something.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Or it's super powered.
Yeah. If you eat the blue honey, and then you can fly.
Yeah, like
I'll
there's
give it a try.
some type of
Right?
elemental
Exactly.
pairing with it. The blue is water, and the red is fire.
Yeah.
And then you can do like earthbender shit.
Oh, there you go.
That would be cool.
See,
Turns into Avatar.
you got to be a little bit of a risk taker because you don't get the payoff of firebending if you don't eat the blue honey or something.
Exactly.
That's true, man. You gotta eat the honey.
Risk. There's that like raw honey stand on like Hilliard Rome. I still haven't stopped, but I want to get honey from those people. Like,
I can get you raw honey.
Yeah.
I get honey from the farmer's market, but I wouldn't be surprised if you have just honey. Do you farm
we
bees?
do. Like we just have
You
bees.
just have bees chilling.
We got 'em.
Yeah, we got like huge jars of honey, and that's why it makes me really sad when people think that their honey goes bad when it like crystallizes. It's basically candy.
It's immortal.
Eat it, mix it into your yogurt. It's so good.
They found it in the
Honey
tombs,
is
didn't they?
immortal.
Like,
Yeah,
it's fucking
exactly.
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
No one ever believes me when I say honey can't go bad.
Yeah, I mean it can get really gross, but like
it just changes function. Like,
yeah, right, exactly.
It crystallizes because there was a change in temperature.
Yeah. Don't
Heat
let
it up.
water get into it and mix in it, and you'll be okay.
It'd be good, yeah. Put the lid on.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any bee pollen?
No.
Damn.
Not.
Dang, some
in
like
the family.
local,
I don't have my bee pollen hookup anymore.
some
man.
local
man.
pollen. That'd be legit.
Yeah, I occasionally get a little thing from CVS.
Yeah.
But they used to. The old honey dudes from Honey Health Farm that aren't around anymore. They always you could buy a giant ass thing of bee pollen that like lasts me all year.
Yeah,
But-
no, we haven't like really messed with that. We're the family. We have bees on my grandparents' farm, but it's not like my sister and my cousin have sort of kind of started taking over and helping Grandpa with them and learning a little bit more. But it's not it's just like a family thing. It's not really we don't have bee pollen or we're not marketing it or anything like that.
Not
No
products.
royal jelly
Yeah.
in your tea or anything.
Yeah, no, not anything that complicated. But
I've seen like recently just there's like satisfaction videos on Instagram and shit, and then it's just like people like scraping honey out of a honeycomb or like just eating a piece of
oh
honeycomb.
man, it's so good.
It does. It's very satisfying.
I have some like one thing they do sell other than honey is honeycomb. Honey people.
Yeah, it is very
So
good.
I have a bite every day before I drink coffee.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah, every day I take a bite of honeycomb.
Nice.
very satisfying.
So we have Ashley Schaefer here today, the original designer of the Coffee Regular logo.
Yes, our very own Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely that cool.
Yeah.
Totally.
That was Charlize Theron, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I get her and a couple other people mixed up. So.
it's all right.
It happens. It happens. She doesn't really look like herself in that film.
Yeah.
She is an actor.
They're gonna make a second one, pretty sure.
Are they really gonna make a
Yeah.
second
Good.
one?
I just saw some stunt. One of the I follow a bunch of stunt people on Instagram, and one of the guys that helps train her posted something and said it mentioned something about that. I think, and I was like, oh sweet, I'm excited.
What would the story be?
I
Because it
don't-
was Berlin '89.
I don't know. I have no idea.
She lived through it. But yeah, if you've never seen that movie, it's perfect.
It's so
a good
good.
one.
I mean, it had me
The
at ice
music,
bath. It was
freaking excellent.
I know the music is just strangely good
It's
with all
so
the
good.
80s-ness
Yeah.
of it.
It's-
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a wonderful soundtrack.
And I mean, I can really appreciate grotesque violence to great music a lot more.
Right.
Like, I can really it turns it into art. It turns the violence into art.
Well, 8711 did all the fight scenes, so it is art.
Yeah.
It's very, and it's definitely it could happen. Like it's very realistic.
Yeah.
It was
It's
very
realistic, yeah.
it's
That's what
intense.
I really appreciate about movies the past 10 years. That they really appreciate or adopted grappling, and
Yes,
realistic fighting,
right, yeah.
and they show that they get hurt. They show
Yeah,
that they're bleeding. They are
exactly.
tired.
Different
Yeah.
characters have different styles.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is also really cool.
Yeah.
Everyone's not just like Van Damme or Seagal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just he's gonna kick him 9 times in the face, and I can't do that. It's like, hey, I was gonna throw him through a wall. I could probably do that.
Yeah.
It kind of puts a little.
And he's gonna
sense of
be
realism.
hurt afterwards too. And he's
Yeah.
gonna be rolling around on the ground for a couple seconds before he can get back up.
My favorite example recently is Extraction.
Yeah, I
He
did
gets-
watch
I haven't
that.
seen it.
Hit by a fucking truck, just gets
Yeah.
fucking smacked, and he's just like, oh,
Yeah.
the rest of the movie is fucked up.
Yeah. It's very, very good. Yeah.
I need to watch that.
John Wick as well. Like he has to go lay down. And he's fucked up.
Jacked the whole time. He's on shit the whole time. He's just like injecting you with the thing.
So that's the thing. He's killing all those people, and at that level, what if he weren't high the whole time?
Dude.
Not if he hadn't been shot and he was high. Yeah.
Jeez.
Imagine if he were like
I think that's
peak.
gonna happen in 4. I think he's going mystical. I think
He's
might
just
do
gonna
it.
reach God level.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna get glowy.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. And then we're gonna find out that's actually Neo's purgatory.
There you
He's gonna
go.
tie in a Matrix 4. We're like, no shit.
And then that would just crumble Hollywood, and that would be the end. And
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
So-
And
now.
then Keanu just walks off into the sunset. Yeah.
Knowing that Bill and Ted 3 got made because. Yes.
Yeah. I love seeing his run, his like 3-gun runs at the gun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, when he's training.
It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
What is Terran Tactical? That's like the famous joint that like gets all the movie stars to
Yeah.
train for all their gun scenes,
Huh?
which also is cool because like again, guns in movies used to suck.
Yeah.
They're like really switching and really efficient, like doing cool shit with them and fighting with them, and they jam and they do realistic shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just absurd. Like
There's-
I like the more realistic take.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
their gun actually runs out of ammunition. Like,
Yeah, they're counting bullets. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
So, back to Ashley.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the history of our logo
Okay.
runs directly through you.
I sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of offered to make the logo.
I did. Yeah.
And there are 2 different versions. Because the original version was the surfer logo.
Oh right. Yeah.
Yeah, which pops up when we do any of our skits, which I haven't done one in a while. I've got ideas for a few. I'm schizophrenic and I have characters, I guess. I don't know. I'll bump those out. But then the other one, which was based on like a random ass picture I took to just fill space.
Right.
Because one of the moms at jiu-jitsu was like talking about my podcast. Oh, I saw the picture with like the belts and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, is that our logo?
Yeah. Right. Like.
Oh god, I guess I should use that.
I don't know. I was just looking. Like I do. I have spent a long time doing a lot of graphic design stuff. That's my like real world work background, not versus training or anything. And yeah, I don't know. Like I just decided that I was going to use that as sort of like just a project to do or a practice or whatever, and I was like, hey, you guys want to use this as your logo, like go ahead. This is
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, because you had made a few other graphics and like, like the brown belt and the
Oh, I have
Right,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
like-
you made,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
I
made that
was-
one after.
Yep, I was
later
just
on.
working on doing different things for people that I thought would use them, like just as practice.
Yeah.
Mostly, it had been a long time since I had done what I had been doing for work was not really that kind of stuff, and so I was just getting a little bit of practice in.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and it's also something that I cared about and wanted to do besides having to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Artwork.
Yeah, right.
Doing something.
So describe your like work, and then describe your like pleasure side gig work.
Yeah. So, well, my work was for a long time. I did ad design for dairy, like the dairy industry, so dairy farmers, which that, like the dairy farmers in the dairy industry, have really been struggling. Not just this past year with all the craziness, but for like the past several years, and it's gotten really bad. And so I had been doing a ton of ad work for them for several different magazines for different breeds, and it just got to the point where nobody really like could afford it, and they were downsizing a lot.
Yeah.
So now I just do contract work for them. So it's just a lot less than I had been doing before.
Just kind of like, all right, we need some bigger.
Yeah.
We need some
So-
stuff, like-
So yeah, that was. But I spent years doing that, and when I first started training, like that was my full-time job that I was always doing. And then, like the side gig stuff, I had for years also would just do projects for people when they needed it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, it's just something that I have a very artistic background and had been into that forever, and sort of just after school wanted to do the design stuff, and that's where I was for several years until this past year, basically. So now I'm just doing contract work and like not, what is it called? Like freelance stuff and just picking up projects here or there.
Yeah.
and then working at the gym now. So
Yeah.
that's
Sweet.
Yeah, been mostly it. And substitute teaching to fill the gaps. But
That's cool. Sweet.
I'd love to see your gym class.
I do a mean gym class. I'm good at gym.
Yeah. Like dodgeball hour. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
Proper warm up. Go.
Yeah. But with your freelance, so like you've always just kind of done it. So you have reps with it. You have practice.
Exactly.
You've done it, so you can just like churn out something. For
Exactly.
people.
Yeah, and that's
To me, like people like I've asked prior to you, they're like, oh yeah, I can do this and this and this, and they just like kind of run me through the fucking, and then you're like, oh yeah, I can do that in like 10 seconds, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's the difference.
Exactly.
Like,
it's like being a black belt in, Adobe, I guess. I don't know. But I've worked with enough, like mentored enough people and worked with enough people who were just starting out that it's kept me, which I'm sure it's the same way for you guys teaching anybody anything, right? You get to a certain level and you're like, but you have reminders of like, this is what it was like to start out, and be like, okay, they don't know this, you have to learn that.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, after so many years of doing it, I know how my creative process works. I know what I have to do to complete a project. I know the ways that I like to get things done that maybe isn't the best practice, but that's how I do them. But it's the same as anything, right?
Yeah. So that's nice that you've always had like a parallel to have like a nice job and then to also do what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you get shut down creatively.
Yeah.
I imagine like.
So that was a conscious choice that I made very early on. Right when I was out of school, I had a job that I really didn't like. I was depressed. I didn't want to go to work. I worked there for a year, and even though I loved the people that I worked with, I hated my job. And I was like, I am not doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money I'm making. That's not what I want to do.
This.
Yeah. So I very purposely took jobs had a job where I was allowed flexibility. I was working from home multiple days a week before that was a cool thing. Cool. Yeah, for years I was doing that.
Right.
And then, I just decided, that's how I ended up at the gym. I would go during my lunch breaks because I decided I wanted to learn something new, that I was stuck in a rut, and I decided to just start going during my lunch breaks. But, I purposely had a job, even though I could have gone somewhere and made a lot more money. Right. That was never the point or the purpose to me. So, that was very intentional, and I don't regret any of it. So,
You're lucky to have gotten out early to realize that
exactly.
Early and not down the road when you're like 50 and like, oh shit.
Right.
I should have done this.
Right. Exactly.
Very good.
All right. No, I'm just listening.
Yeah. But where did you start? You always had a creative background.
Sure,
but
right.
When did you start formally learning and doing it, and then where did you cut your teeth with it, I guess?
Yeah. So I was really, like I said, I always had a really a good basis of art, and just luckily my high school and elementaries, even all the way up through my school, had good art programs. So that was before they cut everything down. So we actually had art, and even in high school we had a really good art program. But I never thought of doing anything really creative necessarily as a job. I didn't think that it was something that I could make money at. I didn't really have a clear idea of what I was going to do. I wanted to be a wildlife photographer, Nat Geo. That was I really liked photography. I still do.
Yeah.
And so, but I was like, this is probably not going to happen realistically. So when I went to college, my first major was wildlife management, because I also have a very strong background in hunting, fishing, outdoors. Where I grew up is very rural. So that's what I started out in. Didn't like all the math classes. I had a friend, one of my roommates was in ag communications, and she's like, what you actually want to do and what you're good at, you should just have a communications degree. That didn't make any sense to me at the time, because I was like, I hate communicating. I'm not good at it. This is not good. But I really had a good, strong background in writing and art. And so really it did make sense, but it took me a while to get over myself and figure that out. And so I started in ag comm, graduated. I really I am still good at writing and I enjoy it, but I didn't necessarily want to do magazine writing. I definitely wanted to do more of the layout and design stuff. that's what I was good at, and that's what I sort of just started narrowing down as I took classes. And I ended up interning for Purebred Publishing, which made all the dairy magazines. And then after a year of working a job that I hated, they had a job opening come up, and I was like, hey, I didn't hate doing that. Maybe I'll just apply and work for them. And then I did for years. So yeah, that's what I did. And it was small enough. I had flexibility. I could do what I needed to do. I enjoyed it. My grandpa was a dairy farmer, so I had that background, and so I understood those people, and it was it was a good fit.
Communicate with
them. Right, exactly.
The language and
and as I've gotten older, I understand that I actually am not terrible at communicating, and whatever. Here we are.
Cut your teeth doing that there too.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Just talking to the wrong people.
So, like, with your creative background, obviously, like, it's hard to monetize creativity, right? So it's hard to monetize, like, kind of like a boring product that everyone might need, but, like, it's not super marketable, but it's also hard to create, like, monetize, like,
it's hard to, and it's also hard when you want to, like, help people and you just want to be creative, but, like, you need to make a living.
Yeah.
So there's a line of, like, I could just, like, you could be an artist. Are you an artist? Like, or am I doing these as a job because I need, like, I don't know. There's like a back and forth that you have to do.
Yeah.
It's not wrong either way. You either buy in and you're like, I'm an artist. You either buy these things that I make because I want to make them, or you have to go out and decide to help people, right? So that's what I enjoyed most out of it, is trying to help people that needed help figuring out what they needed to do to get their message across, right? Yeah. So that's where an
image speaks 1,000 words.
Exactly, right? So
that out.
Simple is better. What do you need to say? This is how I can help you get there. So that's where I ended up. And I mean, it took me a long time to figure out that that's what I liked, and that's why I was doing it, and that's what I wanted out of it. But I eventually got there, right? But that's
creative's got to create.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to create no matter what, right? Exactly. Like, if I'm stressed, you
may as well monetize it.
Right, exactly. Or try to help other people who are struggling with it, right?
But I'm sure you have, like, something that you could, like, almost like it's compartmentalized, like, oh, this is something that I can package and monetize, and this is my pleasure item that I want to, like, draw or whatever.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Like,
that's
your outlet regardless.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel like about photography, because that was my favorite, ended up being my favorite and what I was probably best at. And I mean, I even took a few photography classes in college and thought about double majoring, except it wasn't going to work out, and so I just didn't. But I'm almost glad that I didn't monetize that, because, and I haven't really been into it the last, probably really since you guys have known me, but it's definitely something that's there that I'm like, when I need to, I can definitely get back into this, and this is but I mean, I just mostly use my phone. I love my Instagram page. I use it all the time. I was signed up for Instagram before they even had it for Android, and was one of the first people to get it, because I like documenting my life. I use it as a journal. Like, I don't care who follows me. I just want to remember what was going on. But that kind of thing is more of my creative outlet that I don't have to monetize, that I don't necessarily want to. But working and making logos and stuff, I will do it, and like, I made your guys' logo because I was like, I need some practice doing this, but it's definitely more of the work side than creativity. And I still like to paint and draw. I've recently started, like, I got a tablet to draw, like, digitally, which is new, and it's like relearning how to draw, so that was interesting.
It's got no texture.
Yeah, it's very, it's really weird. Yeah,
I've seen videos of people playing with them, but it
can be fascinating, right? And you can get better. You just need practice. But yeah, it's. I mean, I still am very creative and try to do that stuff, but it's not like I'm trying to market anything that's that. It's mostly just layout and logo design and that kind of thing that I usually am helping people with, or money.
But at the same time, that's like a rabbit hole that you could dive down if you
Exactly,
needed to.
exactly. Yeah, it's definitely, and I pull from that well for everything in my life, right? Like I can't separate it. I've always known how to do those things, and it's part of who I am.
It's a constant learner. It's like skills.
Exactly. I always, as a kid, I recently realized like that I was probably more of an anxious child than anyone gave me credit for. And the way that I compensated for that was just being good at things. So, like, that's what made me feel better. If I could do this, if I knew how to do this, if I could do this, if this has made sense to me. So I was always really, like, I was researching things as, like, a 10-year-old because I just wanted to know how it worked or what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So...
Shit, you were anxious as fuck. Nice. Yeah.
Right, so...
That's exactly what I was like, oh, damn, the more I know, I feel a little less terrible.
Exactly, yeah. Instead of avoiding things, I would run straight at them, basically.
I'd rather just get the anxiety out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck it.
Exactly. Like,
got cancer today. Like, I've convinced myself that this sunburn is.
It's so so you got to figure it out. So, but now you know that information. Yeah, I was. That's how I operated too. But it took me. I mean, that was a recent thing for me to realize. Like, holy shit, that was probably what was going on this whole time.
I mean, we kind of spoke about it last week.
We spoke about that.
Yeah.
Just weird mental health things as a kid that like weren't really paid attention to.
Yeah, right.
I have those realizations with you all the damn time. You say some shit that you like relate to anxiety. I'm like, wait, I just do that.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
exactly. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I thought I just wanted to be James Bond. I just wanted to know everything. Shit.
Right. Exactly.
I think anxiety is a spectrum, a lot. Like, people can, it's like almost like a different frequency that people tap into sometimes. I personally, I live in that frequency, so like people kind of spike up into it. I'm like, oh, what's up, dude? Like, it's kind of like when Corona hit and like lockdown hit. I'm like, what's up, peeps? Like,
hey, welcome everyone.
This shit.
You just keep on breathing, you're good. Like,
that's right. Yeah.
No, I didn't realize until my daughter went to school. Because I had to talk to other parents.
Yeah.
And like that very first conversation I had with a parent I didn't know when we were like in kindergarten orientation, and I'm talking about the shit that I do, and everyone's like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh.
It's hard to go back and like reintegrate into society.
This isn't normal. Shit, okay.
Like, oh man, I gotta recalibrate what is.
I was trying to be friendly.
Sometimes you got a blue pill and go back to reality.
I'm like, oh crap.
Yep.
So and I'm like, well, maybe that's weird.
Yep.
But, and then we hang out with each other, and we're all normal. And we're like, this is normal.
Right, exactly.
We all punch each other in the face.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, the longer you're in it, the more normal that gets, and the more weird you get.
Well, the concept of normal is always a fun thing.
Oh, yeah. That's all fucked up.
Like,
that's whatever.
Or, like, with my daughter, I notice a lot, too. She has to learn to balance.
Yeah.
If she knows normal here versus normal other places.
Sure.
And I used to have to warn her when she was little.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, buddy. Don't punch that dude in the head.
Yeah,
you can't.
Different story.
Right.
Like, people don't fight for fun.
Right. That's not
society.
necessarily normal. Maybe it should be. Society might be a lot better off. But,
it'd be much more fun. Yeah.
But yeah.
But just stuff like that. Yeah, and then like. I yell stuff in multiple languages, and she understands all of them.
Right.
And then people are like, what? Yeah. And so it makes it weird, but like whatever your normal is, I find that, you find other people that are on that same frequency. It's cool.
Or just have some open-mindedness and understanding, right?
Yeah,
like to realize that normal is that's a concept that you have.
Very fluid concept.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that doesn't mean anything. Your normal is not anybody else's normal. So
yeah. But to find people that understand that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many people like rush to judge and be like, man, that dude's a fucking weirdo.
Right.
It's just like, leave him alone.
Right. Yeah. Is he hurting you?
He's doing some weird shit in his garden. Well, leave him alone. Like,
exactly.
He's not hurting anybody. Like,
exactly.
Well, that's where the push light comes in. Everyone leaves you alone.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with like martial arts and stuff. When you do your stuff alone, you look like a psychopath. So people leave you alone.
People leave you alone. Yeah, it's true.
Facts.
Or you attract another psychopath. They're like, hey.
Yeah.
What you doing? Like,
crazy too. Come on over.
Yeah.
And that's like over the years. It's funny because like it's almost like certain populations come through a gym, like
who floats into the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And who really kind of binds to what, who binds to like the level, you know what I mean? Like sort of like they're binded to like just enjoying the drills and the movement. That's great, Like I love every level of it. But like I understand every level of it because I've been every level.
On every level.
I'm like, I've liked it. Oh, I've loved it. I've been way too obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Darkly obsessed. And I've been like, oh yeah, it's a nice healthy balance.
Yeah.
Like I know every step of that.
Been
So
on all,
Sure,
the whole
right.
spectrum. Yeah.
yeah. So like that just comes back to like cutting your teeth, getting reps so that you can replicate
Exactly.
something without like skipping a beat, you know.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
with teaching is tough, and it goes away quickly if you don't do it.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about teaching, yeah.
It's so I was only
how's
teaching
it
at the
going?
gym for well, it's been over a year now, but like it was a year basically when the quarantine hit. And so I was like I was getting into a groove, everything felt fine, like I was pretty confident. I didn't have any problem at all with classes, and then we came back after several months. And I mean, we were doing online stuff and I was still talking to people, but I wasn't really in classes, right? We weren't really you know, in like my first couple classes back, I was just like, what do I do? Like, what am I doing? How does class work? This is crazy. Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah, I had coached before, but it's been several years and it was never this sort of a thing.
That's really good practice, though.
Yeah, I mean, and I've coached kids, adults, whatever. Like and I have experience. I'm the oldest of all my cousins, and I'm the oldest of my two sisters. So like, I can be bossy.
Right on.
Like I know how to tell
leader.
people. Yeah, exactly. I never, and I think that's one of the reasons I pushed back so hard on ever being called a leader or wanting to communicate, because I just didn't want the responsibility, because I grew up with it.
It had to be.
It had to be me, and I didn't want it. I wanted to go away. I didn't want to be responsible, but I'm good at it. I had the reps. I cut my teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's normal.
it's actually
it's a skill.
It's
so, like,
yeah,
you're
exactly.
Like, oh, I want to know more, and I'm gonna do this, and then you're just like naturally like, hey, go fucking pick up the thing.
Right, exactly. Like, don't die today. Please stop doing that. So, but it's
and you kept people alive. So that's
exactly. So but it wasn't. But yeah, there was it was almost as soon as I felt like I was getting confident, really into a rhythm, and knew what the heck was going on. Really, we shut down and everything changed. So that's been interesting.
You know, gotta learn. Whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm flexible. I'm adaptable. It's fine. But luckily, like, I mean, well, like I know Brooke's been on this podcast, and people know who she is generally, probably, but or other. But we have other instructors at the gym too who have to be very like regimented, or they feel like they need to have a plan more so than less. And at first I did too, like especially when I was first starting out, but like the more and more you do it, it's like I don't need to do that. And I don't know, it's everybody's different, but it's
I came up teaching in like the weird joint, so like you get fucking roasted for whatever, like you're walking on coals, like you know, you do something silly, like someone's like, what the fuck, you know, someone's on you, so like you come in with a notebook ready, they're like, oh, what's up, nerd, like what fucking you know, like just all sorts of shit, like so you get reps of like having thicker skin, and you're like, I gotta laugh that one off,
right?
Like, that one's stung, but they can't see that, like,
don't let them see, it's fine.
There's just so many like weird skills that go along with that.
The spontaneous teaching skill. How many classes have you taught where you went in to train, and then you're like, oh, you got to teach.
Oh, on the spot teaching.
On the spot teaching is like it's a whole different level.
Oh, I fucking hated it.
Now I love it because it's cool now. Because again, I used the sinking and the dropping in my gut that would happen when someone would be like, oh, you got to teach. I'd be like, oh crap, I gotta figure this out.
And then like, now I can just like, you want me to teach a class? I'll do it right now.
That happened more so. I'll tell you where. Is when I taught old people Zumba.
There you go.
Oh, right on.
I was normally just like the assistant person. So, but then she she missed class one day, and I'm fucking on the spot.
Okay, I guess I'm teaching today.
So there's some trauma there. You know? I hear like the Monster Mash, and I start fucking sweating.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Fair enough.
Now, when I started teaching when I was like 16, Doc used to do that to me because she knew I'd get too fucking nervous if I knew it was coming. So it started out as a positive thing where she just tossed me in. And then, like, every school after that was different, because then it was just like the other people that worked there were fucking lazy or just unorganized, and I just was there. And like, I can't do it tonight. Oh, this didn't show. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm teaching tonight.
I guess at a certain point, it's like the consistent person is there, and they will eventually.
If you're the consistent person, you end up sort of running the joint.
It's true. Even if it's just like, all right, well, I'm taking the reins, got to train today. Who's coming in? Like,
Right.
I showed up to an MMA school once, just spontaneously. Friend of a friend had a school. Come in on Saturday. Okay, me and a buddy of mine showed up. No one fucking came, but a bunch of students came.
Oh, jeez.
I taught the class.
Yeah.
I taught the whole fucking class. I went through like all these fundamentals of whatever. I usually, when I have spontaneous stuff in MMA, I'll just pick a fighter or pick a fight.
And just
be like, here's how I would win.
Just run through
Like,
it.
I do that, and I went, like I was so we were talking about stuff, and whoever we ended up talking about, I just ran them through that dude's style.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, that was a great class. Do you work here? No, I've never been here in my life. I don't know who these people are. I've never seen this place. I barely know how to get here.
I'm not gonna learn your names today. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll probably never see you again. Really, actually.
And they rolled in like an hour late. Like, oh hey, you guys are here. I'm like, you said class started at 10, motherfucker.
Dude, that's such a MMA jiu-jitsu thing. Like,
it was funny, man.
I can't tell you how many times I've been like, class is at 9, and then you're there waiting until like 10:15, like.
It's a soft 9.
And they just roll in. They don't even change into their gi. And they're just like, alright, doors open, motherfuckers. Like, like, cool. Glad I waited.
Yeah.
Well, like that time I went to when Arthur Ruff's out of school here. I went to Rough House Jiu-Jitsu. Me and my daughter, when she was 4, rolled in one day at noon. Doors unlocked. Everything's open.
Was that on,
I think it was
King?
on King. Yeah, it was over there, yeah. A nice school.
Oh, yeah, it's a great school. I
Great
trained
spot.
over there a bunch.
Kind of wanted to take the mats.
You're like, doors open.
We were there for like a half hour just playing.
Yeah.
Just hanging out. I'm like, I don't think anyone's coming today, buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go Target. Okay, bud, let's go. That was weird, man.
That's crazy.
That happened. Because, I mean, that's probably roughly the time that I was under him. Like,
really?
Oh, yeah. What
all
year
the
was
times
it?
we should have run into each other.
Yeah,
that would have been 2013.
Oh yeah. Well, let's see. So, yeah, that's probably about the time.
13, 14ish. Yeah, somewhere around there. It might have, like somewhere
Maybe a
between
little before
12 and
that,
14. I can't remember if it was before or after my hip surgeries.
Because he was there, then he went back to I don't remember where.
So he was like the most legit dude in town that I could find.
He was. So that's the
time.
thing. Like,
yeah.
At the time, yeah, he was.
I didn't know who anyone else was. He just happened to have a website that at the
time, like probably one of 3 websites. So.
Right.
Yeah, like it was a good website. It had information on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll start there.
He had tremendous pressure games, and like I learned a lot from that aspect.
I heard the dude was good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my coach took privates with him, so like I learned a lot of stuff. Like, so I think I can't dog style at all. Like I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah. From pure jiu-jitsu perspective, it was amazing.
Oh yeah,
business
for sure.
perspective though, I don't know.
Different story. That's fine. That's business. But then like he had to go back, and then he brought in another person, and that was issues when that happened.
That's how it goes.
You know, yeah, exactly. It's just such like a martial arts thing. It's like some new person comes in and then kind of fucks everything up.
Change the style.
But it was very interesting. I want to do almost like a podcast series of like the history of Columbus Jiu-Jitsu. Like,
you should.
We should do a specific on history of martial arts in Columbus.
Yeah.
Because between the two of us,
or even you could do
we cover it.
Because even Ohio, right? Or even you could do Columbus, Ohio, and then the Midwest in general.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
just
tremendous grappling and stuff.
Yeah.
Between like Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, and boxing, Columbus is gnarly.
Right.
It was a fight town.
And
dude.
I have I was completely new to this stuff until in December. I've only been doing any of this for 5 years. So for me, it's very interesting to hear. I was always interested in martial arts, and I knew the things. Like I even knew what they all were, but they weren't available to me where I lived as a kid, and I just never really got into it until now. But it's definitely interesting to hear about how just like how it became what it is now.
That's the thing. Like as a community, fucking cut their teeth doing weird shit. Like, now it's great, really. Like I think
it's really leveled out now, business wise. Yeah,
people that were really good.
People are mentally stable.
They stuck around, and the people that needed to go went. So like, kind of stabilized in a pretty cool way.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time. It's neat to see it because I've done it for so long. I grew up in it, so I've kind of seen the process to get to this point. But it's also cool to have a kid that doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
That this is how shit is. I'm like, you don't understand how perfect you have it.
Right.
Oh my god, this is so cool.
That's how I'm thankful for the community that we have at Endeavor. Like that's exactly the kind of thing. I wouldn't probably be doing it if it was causing me, like, at this point in my life, like, if it was a pain in the butt to deal with, I wouldn't have dealt with it. I would have just been like, peace out. This is I'm not dealing with this stuff.
You're old enough and smart enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to do this, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think, like gyms and communities, if they can build a community, like, they have a lot of power for change and to help communities. Like, it's insane. We should really, I just want to lean more into that, really.
Be careful how far you lean into it.
Yeah.
Because you'll lose your life.
Yeah. Well,
but I mean that in not like a death way.
Sure.
But I mean that in a time way.
Very good.
I'm very much the opposite now. You know, I don't teach.
Yeah.
I don't help
right.
people.
Yeah, you train. You train when you
do anything anymore,
exactly.
right? And I mean, I train on like a real secret basis. Like, I show up, you might not know I'm there.
Sure.
Because I kind of got sucked the other way.
Yeah. Which is fair.
I very much got taking care of the community, which is really fulfilling and really awesome, and you help a lot of people. Then you realize, like, I haven't slept for 2 days.
Sure, there's definitely a balance.
No fucking life.
There's a balance with everything.
It's because the thing is especially, I noticed this with you early on. Like, it's really funny. Like, you gave people your phone number.
Yeah.
Like, so certain people had your number, and I could tell. Like, you'd get texts and shit, and you're really good about making people feel like they're the only one in the room. Everyone thought they were your only friend.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I remember those days. Yeah.
So that's been a thing for a while. That I again, like, coming up in like a weird ass joint, like a weird place, like it fell on me to like get people really invested.
Yeah, to kind of
you
were the emotional center. You held everyone in. Yeah, I did that too.
And like, I met and like talked to and kind of dealt with a lot of people, and like a lot of people that were kind of fucking out there, but I was still able to like get them into jiu-jitsu and hopefully have like a positive impact. That was all I really wanted to do.
Right.
Was, like, churn them in and be like, all right, once you get going, it'll be fucking great.
Fine. Yeah.
Just gotta get you kick-started. I just gotta kind of shove you off But like, like, I've had people just fucking sitting facing the wall talking to themselves essentially, and I'm like, what's up, man? Like, I'll talk to whomever, like, even though it goes totally against like my nature, like I'm shy as shit, don't want to do it, like wouldn't. But if I feel like someone else is hurting or needs that, I'm definitely gonna turn them in. Like, it's not a thing. Like, I'll so like that just became like, that's what I do. That became because I had to do it so fucking often. Again, cut my teeth, get my reps.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now it's nothing. So it's like whomever, and that's because I truly also, that the reason I can do that is because I do believe like jiu-jitsu and grappling and martial arts is for everybody, and they can find a way to do it and enjoy it and like be fulfilling and.
But it's a boundaries thing.
For sure. And boundaries exist in everything.
Absolutely.
But
not feel like a dick.
Healthy boundaries. And I think, like, I've typically been pretty good at healthy boundaries. I, like, was called shy a lot as a kid, but really I was just...
You're kind of pleasantly aloof. You're just like...
Yeah. Like, I didn't feel that way. I just got labeled that. I'm like, whatever, cool. I just didn't give a fuck, so it's like, whatever. Exactly. But you, like, I would always just say, like, I wouldn't... If I really truly didn't want to do anything, I had no problem saying no, ever. But I've always just been super easygoing, which is like. But so it would surprise people when I was older then, because I was always just super easygoing. If I would use boundaries, because I never really didn't. I was just always easygoing. Yeah. So they would always be like, "Oh, you okay?" And then I would be like, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing that." Or like, just if I became bossy or something, they'd be like, "What?" Like. What?
You flip that switch.
Yeah,
like I was sort of like like a naive, agreeable kid, just naturally. So like, but my brain put boundaries on it. It's like, I would be like, smile and nod, but then I'd drag my heels. I'm like, I'm not doing shit. Like, so like I naturally set boundaries that way to be like, okay, cool, and then I'm just like, nope.
You have the ability to be stubborn. My sister Lindsay is a lot like that, whereas she's very much a pleaser, and she wants everybody to get along and be happy. Yeah. But she has the ability to be the most stubborn out of all of us. Yeah. And it's like, so it's like what? It's interesting. Yeah. But yeah.
And that's tough, like in leadership roles too, because like little flare-ups of whatever, and then you just got kind of like
you gotta be able to put the fire out in the nicest possible way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, and that goes against my nature too. So I'm just like, God, you're making me do this. You're making me do this.
Yeah, goddamn conflict resolution.
I drink green tea every goddamn day. Bring the demons out.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of which, we need to do a green tea episode.
Yeah, I know. We have a lot.
Next time we haven't done a tea episode in a while.
You haven't, yeah.
You have a ton.
I've got a ton that
nice.
we haven't touched yet.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I got the sample pack, man.
They
All
sent
kinds of good stuff. They got a lot of good stuff.
I knew that. Yeah.
So it's coming. The next episode we'll do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Had to do Coffee Tonic today.
Yeah. I'm super psyched about
do like an iced green tea, a cool green tea.
Yeah, you could.
I'll try it. Yeah,
I love iced green tea. I love green tea in general.
There's this place called Zencha Tea Salon. I don't even know if it's still around with all the fucking shutdowns. Might be gone. But it was very like kind of like chic and like kind of sexy and whatnot. Had the tumbling things on, or the fountains on the wall, and the plants and the fish. Nice shit.
So like go pee before you go in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Granite everything. But then like billions of teas. They have this like German strawberry tea, very light floral, and it was over ice.
Yeah.
I dream about that shit. It's so
You need to figure that out. Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. I can't remember what it's called. It's like I have dreams about it, and like my mind
should just
blanks.
make a Reddit thread.
Yeah, my mind blanks over the name. It's like I can read all the other names of the tea, and I can't see that one. Like it's
That's
a fucking
funny.
This is your personal journey right here.
Well, technically, you shouldn't be able to read words in your dreams anyway.
What the fuck is wrong with me then?
No, I can too.
Okay.
I can tell. It's supposed to be impossible.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
you
never
can't.
heard that.
You never heard that? You've never even seen that episode of Batman the Animated Series where you're stuck in a dream world and can't read anything? Son of a bitch, man. No, it's an actual brain thing. It's not like written language isn't necessarily hanging out in that part in your when your hypothalamus plays
because
back
you're like
the
when
world.
you're reading it and actively. So like when you're dreaming, it's not really there.
Oh well, not necessarily. It's just that it's like how like your brainstem doesn't have language.
Okay.
The deeper parts of your brain don't have spoken language. And then you have like, literally it's like a layer up thing. Then you go a layer up and you get spoken language, and then you go to the top and you get written language.
Sure.
So usually when you dream, basically like most of the front part of your brain turns off.
Right.
And so you shouldn't be able to have words in there.
Yeah.
But like I do it all the time. Like,
what about like lucid dreaming? Then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Lucid dreaming
exactly.
it's the crossover.
Sure, that's
where I have lucid dreams all the time.
Occasionally I will. Yeah,
I do it way too much.
Yeah,
like and I know I'm dreaming, and so ever since that episode of Batman when I was 12, I've done this. I'll be like, in my dreams, I will form words. It's hard.
I've never thought about that.
I make books. I like make signs and shit in my dreams so I can read them. And it's difficult, but it's a thing. And it's like a weird brain crossover.
There's like ways you can be like train yourself or whatever. You can like train yourself. You see a dot on your hand or something, and then like and start to focus on that or whatever. Like there's a lot of goofy shit. But that's cool though. I mean, that's just kind of fun. I mean, your brain is fucking.
Dude,
brain's cool, man.
Freaking bodies, brains. That's amazing.
That's the thing. Like everyone's
talk about that shit forever.
Posting on Facebook like they know stuff. It's like we don't know anything about most stuff. Like ocean, space, our brain, most of our body.
Don't know about the human body is phenomenal.
It's just kind of like
actually.
Shut the fuck up.
Right? When people get all like out of shape about things, I'm like, you realize that we're like floating around in the solar system on a rock in space, and nobody understands how any of this works. Like, time is a construct.
You're here for like 8
Calm
years,
down.
Like, 8 years if you make it through.
Like, enjoy the ride.
I just started reading another book about the Spanish influenza.
Oh yeah.
But this one is way different than the other one. The other one I read was like basically epidemiology, where they just kind of mapped it and tried to get to the source and had like bunch of different cities and a bunch of like how they reacted to it, and then like how the military reacted to it, and then how like government reacted to it, how it affected the peace talks of World War I. Really interesting.
Yeah.
But this one I just started reading starts out with it's the history of medicine in the United States.
Oh, sweet.
Like that's where I'm at right now. It's insane.
Yeah.
We're so far behind. It's stupid.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really cool to sort of look at that.
Yeah. That is interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's been kind of nuts. And what was happening in the world at the time of like, it starts out with the opening of Johns Hopkins University. So that was the first scientific medical university in the United States.
Sure.
That wasn't just based on like reason and observation that worked.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. And it is so eerily similar to the mindset that's happening now too.
Yeah,
it just hurts.
I know, and I've been reading a lot of stuff about like society lately, just with everything that's going on. But I have not dug into any of those books, even though they've been on my radar of something that I want to read. But
I'll show you.
It's it's very interesting how, I mean, history will repeat itself.
A dude named Ray Dillo has a book that's about to come out. I think it's not called Patterns, but it's about historical patterns.
Yeah.
And he's rich as fuck. But the reason he says he's rich as fuck is because he sees the patterns.
Yeah.
He sees the societal patterns, so he can kind of know what's coming in some ways. And he wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
And he's funny because he like hangs out with rappers and shit. Like, he's P. Diddy's mentor. P. Diddy love him. You know, all the rappers talk about him. I love this guy. Like, so yeah. And he's just
paying attention to.
He's just, but he's about to come out with a book that I'm totally gonna get because I do that. I watch people's like patterns and reactions. I'll tell you what everyone's gonna do before they do it. But
everyone thinks they're so like sly and like unpredictable. It's like, dude,
it's not an original story, guys. But, they were bearing ball. They were doing bearing ballers in the 20s.
That's just judo, dog. What is old is new again.
Exactly.
No, I'll show you that book before we leave.
Yeah.
And Mike, I finished Bisbing's biography.
Oh yeah, it's good.
I cried, man.
Finisher. Yeah, I bet.
I teared up a couple times at the end. It's good. And I love his sense of humor. It's so mean.
He's just the king shit talker.
He is, but when he got to the Luke Rockhold section of the book, and it was a hell of a chapter, he just tore into Rockhold, man. And like deservedly so, like, it's really funny. Like, Luke Rockhold should read that and think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But at the end, it has there's like Michael Bisping's record. And it goes, Cage Rage, Cage Warriors, all that. And then at one point it's like, unofficial Strikeforce champion. UFC, blah, blah, blah. Because they beat him in sparring once. And I'm like, that's a beautiful jab. Just like, yes, I took you out one time in sparring. I am the champion. That was real.
That's some schoolyard bullshit.
We'll just casually put him there in parentheses.
It's funny.
But
he's awesome.
It's a great book. I highly recommend it.
His story's the best, I think, and
it's a wonderful story. It really is. For how much I hated him for most of his career, I really love him.
He played a great heel, dude.
And we could be great friends. It's ridiculous. Yeah, he's only a couple years older than me. We like the same weird-ass music from the 90s.
Perfect.
Both
that sounds like a foundation for a relationship to me.
I still have my eye. Even it's half fake, not entirely fake. So
I'm going to be there someday. I have a couple more black eyes.
You got cataracts yet?
No, not yet.
All right, they're fun,
I've had laser surgery once. We'll see.
It's like wax paper, bro. When you start having wax paper over your eye. I had it for it got bad for over a year.
Yeah.
Where I drive at night like this because I couldn't see out of my eye. And then during the day, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while something happened, I'd be like, hey, what?
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't see anything.
Weird. At least, the advances and things they can do to eyes now is amazing. Or even
scary.
I know.
Yeah. Like outpatient. It's like
when I got laser surgery, my sister took me, so it was just corrective surgery, so I didn't have glasses anymore. But
I'd love to have that.
So it was awesome. I tell everybody to do it. But we went in, my sister took me prepared to be okay, this is a thing that we're doing. She had a bunch of magazines to read. Yeah. We're in for the long haul. I was in that room for 5 minutes maximum. It was insane. And then they're I got PKR, I think. So they I had to wear protective contacts and my what's the outer layer of your eye has to grow back because they laser through it. They don't make a LASIK. They have you have a flap.
Okay.
I don't. Okay. So it takes longer to heal, but also when I get punched in the face, which happens, I'm not the flap on my eye is not going to get dislodged. So it did take longer to heal, but the whole entire process, I was everybody should be doing this if it's possible. I don't why are we still advances in technology are fascinating to me.
They have moved into that a lot for children now.
Yeah,
so they don't have classes all the time.
Yeah.
And I've always been come and go with it because I'm I wish I could have had that, and I'm I like being blind. Shit.
You're probably the only person.
Yeah.
Well, no. When I got my cataract done, I was the youngest he'd ever had. Like, he's like, you're in your 30s. What the hell are you doing here? I'm like, I'm considerably older than when I had hip surgery, sir. This is fine. He's like, oh my god, yeah. And he looked at my chart like,
you're gonna be the bionic man, so it's all good.
Yeah, but I asked him for a nearsighted lens, and he's like, wait, what? And he's like, no one's ever asked me for it. I'm like, yeah, I'm nearsighted. I don't want to be farsighted.
Yeah.
Like, that's just stupid. And he's like, okay, I mean, we could just do one eye. We don't have to do both. The other one's
so
fine.
confused.
And then they, like, worked it out. And then, like, did me a solid and just matched the prescription and the fake eye to the real eye.
So for some reason I was lucky for years before I had my surgery, which is one of the reasons like I got it, because my prescription was leveled out for years. But my prescription was the same in both eyes forever.
Wow.
For a long time, for years. So it was very handy because I could just carry one extra contact around.
That's spectacular.
I know, it was amazing.
Never had that problem. Yeah, always different.
Yeah.
Because
But yeah,
that's funny. But yeah, the thing is now is with my new eye, it's near or far. Like with my glasses on, I'm farsighted.
Yeah.
Take my glasses off, I'm nearsighted. There is no in between.
Yeah.
Like I cannot none of that. Yeah, like it's that was less of an adjustment than I thought it was going to be, but it's very interesting. But I just take my glasses off to read now and just put the book right next to me.
Right. It's also weird how much you will compensate. Your body will compensate, your brain will compensate for like things that are going on, that you just deal
adapt.
with. Yeah, you adapt.
Like,
it's insane.
Yeah. Speaking of which, toe's good. It's getting even better. Yeah,
it's alive.
I don't know if you guys heard it. It popped earlier.
Oh shit.
Yeah, been fixing the big toe. But yeah, look, like the tendon's coming back.
Nice.
Look at that. It's actually popping up.
It's growing.
It's coming back. It's cool.
I broke this one twice, and now this joint just basically doesn't move.
I had that. This one I broke so many times that it was frozen for years.
Yeah, it's gotten better. It's actually more mobile now than it has been.
You've also had a tremendous amount of injuries and weird things and like goofy things.
Probably.
That was nothing new.
Something consistent across the martial arts board.
It's level of injuries, and then thinking that they're normal.
Right.
Everyone is this hurt and doesn't care about it. And then you talk to normal people like, I bruised my knee once, it was horrible, it put me out for months.
Yeah,
now I can't play anymore.
Yeah.
You're a pussy.
I'm like,
I always was like super active even before I did any martial arts, like just reckless. Some people would say reckless, right? I wasn't doing anything that I thought was insane, but like I always just was willing to put my body on the line to do things.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like, they'll be like, yeah, I was doing this and I hurt my shoulder again, and they'll be like, what? Like, why are you doing it? I'm like, I can't explain this to you.
Why continue this?
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
hurt that bad. I mean, there's sleep on the other side.
Yeah, exactly, right? You get used to dealing and adapting. Like, it's...
Yeah.
And then when people are complaining about, like, oh, that one time I sprained my ankle and it hurt for, like, a month, I'm like, okay.
We're all the people that, like, look up stuff to be like, how do I fix this? And then they're just, like, sitting there suffering for years. I'm like,
oh my God.
You could fix this.
Fix it.
Yeah.
You could fix this.
With a little bit of discipline. Like, not even...
a little bit of consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe some tape magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, is that some sort of... People don't want to look up mundane skills or skills that, I don't know, like injury prevention or injury care, like...
Yeah.
There's a weird, I don't know, there's like a block most people have of, like, they're not a doctor or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't...
Like, I'm eager to just figure out how to fix my own shit because it's fun and it's cheap.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I will do what I can. Like, so I've had multiple injuries and definitely things that I should have had looked into.
Yeah, should have had that
more.
reattached years ago.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm probably going to have to actually fix this shoulder at some point soon. But it's interesting because when I turned 30, or basically when I started doing this stuff and came to the gym, I was like, okay, I've done terrible things to my body. From now on, when I have an injury that needs to be looked at, I'm actually going to take responsibility and, like, have it checked out. Mm-hmm. And, like, but the first time that I actually had to go through, like, intense several months of physical therapy was when I tore my hamstring. But, so, like, all the injuries I've had before, and there definitely probably was things that I should have done that for before. That was the first time, and it's like, it's not that hard. Like, I don't understand people who won't do it. They're literally telling you...
Simple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's and it reaffirmed to myself like I can do I have been doing the things that I was supposed to be doing for years by myself. Like so I was actually like, oh, this isn't so bad. I was actually doing okay, but
hey, that's cool.
It's just intuitive life. You just live life.
Yeah.
Take care of your shit.
Yeah. Responsibility, right?
I need to be able to move this.
You just don't, I mean, people, I think, have that common. Some people have, like, they don't want to rely on other people. They just don't.
Yeah.
Or they would rather take care of themselves and just...
It's taking responsibility, right?
Yeah,
if you don't take responsibility, you can just foist it off on somebody else, right? But if you're taking responsibility for your life and the life that you want to live, then you're doing it.
Yep. This is true.
Facts. I gotta run. I gotta
run.
Yeah.
You have things to do?
I do. Per usual.
Yeah.
Is there jits today at noon?
What's today? Thursday?
Yeah.
12:30.
Oh, right.
12:30.
And no class tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
Good day.
All right, then. I guess we are finished then?
I mean, you guys can keep going, but I have to split. Because I got travel time.
All right. Travel time.
Yeah.
All right, my man. Tonics are good today?
Tremendous, as always. Thank you so much.
Yes. See ya.
Right. Peace out, homie.
Boom.
Yep.
Tremendous. Friday.
You too.
Well, no, it's not Friday. It's Thursday.
No, it's Thursday. It's all good.
It's not Friday because I'm fucking moving Friday.
Yeah.
So.
If you guys need help, let me know.
Yeah,
Yep, we're here.
See you later.
See ya.
So, here we are.
Here we are. Still.
Right. Mike asked the better questions. I just sit here and listen.
Yeah, well, you know.
I don't know what to do. So, you grew up playing the soccers.
Yeah, well, so I grew up playing a bunch of different sports. Mostly when I was, like, in elementary school, I played softball. That was the thing that was available. I mean, like, I grew up out in the sticks. It was, you know, the 90s. That was
the girls' sport
that was
back
the
then,
that was the girls' sport.
Yeah.
We didn't even have soccer. I guess they would have, like, there were teams around, but, like, that was not the popular thing to do. And I just played softball clear up until basically high school. There was a club team, I think, in junior high, but I still played softball until high school. So, but I loved football. Right. That was my favorite sport, but I was not allowed to play football. So, I would have been, if they would have let me on the field, and I say this with, like, absolute, like, I completely believe it, if they would have let me on the field playing football as in elementary school, I would have torn shit up. That was my favorite. I was basically the icebox, right, from Little Giants.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Straight up. But, yeah, so I wasn't allowed to do that, so I played softball. Then I was good at basketball. I liked basketball. I got cut from the team, I think, in high school, maybe, and I just didn't play. After that, I played soccer, started playing indoor soccer, loved it. Like, cool, it should have been the sport that I was playing for years. It just really wasn't, there wasn't that much availability. I was the oldest of 3, so it was like, pick your sport, that's what you're playing.
Too bad.
Yeah, so, but no, I fell in love with soccer, loved it. It was basically my life, and then I considered playing in college, but just didn't, like, I went to Ohio State, so there was no, like, it would have been a club team level.
I should have went to OU, man.
Dude, I know.
We had a baller women's soccer team.
Right?
Was the best.
I know. So my sisters went there, but I went to Ohio State because they were the school that had an ag program. That's why I ended up there. So
I went to OU because I lived in Athens.
Well, I know, it makes sense. I love Athens. I go there, like, my sister and I go there and hang out all the time. I love Athens, but in looking back now, they have an awesome communications program. Like,
they do.
I would have probably thrived there, but that's not the path. Like, that's, I ended
photography school as well.
Yeah, I know. But that's not what I was aiming for when I went to Ohio State. Like, that's, so it's just interesting how those things work out. Like, I would have thrived in OU, but I mean, I loved Ohio State. Had my friends, did great there. It was very good for me, like, to get out and make me be a more well-rounded human. But, like, I obviously wasn't going to play sports at Ohio State at, like, a high level. So I just messed around playing club level stuff. But no, I didn't play soccer for my whole life. I love it. I love it now. I fell in love with it, but yeah.
Like, I identify you as a soccer player.
Well, that makes sense. I identify myself as a soccer player, even though I didn't play it my whole life. But no, I still love it. if I had time and I wasn't always at the gym now, and like this is what I've chosen to do and I love it, but it's always in the back of my mind, something that I would like to do is find like just a team to just go play, like just to play around. Yeah. If I lived closer up here, I probably would do that. It's like travel time and everything else right now is just like it's hard, but. And there was a couple pickup games that would be like down around home in Circleville, but I never really got into it. So if I found somewhere that had like somewhere that was easy for me to get to, that had a consistent team that I could play with, I would be all over it. So, but I also like don't run anymore. Like I used to run so much, and I just don't anymore. My cardio is all fighting. So. Oh
yeah, running will hurt your feelings then, man.
Dude, I know. Yeah. Occasionally I'll go run a mile and be like, wow, that was terrible.
That was
Yeah.
The attention span for running is a very different animal.
It's very different, and it was never I got good at it, but it wasn't ever my favorite. I used to love it. Like I used to love running, but now that I know that I can get my cardio doing something that's a lot more like activity, I would have a hard time going back.
I don't have to be on weight anymore, so running for me, man. Hell no.
Right?
That's the only reason I ever ran distance.
It makes sense.
I would run, 3 miles twice a week just to stay at 35.
Oh my gosh. Man. I mean, I used to run like 3 miles every day. I used to run a lot, but that was before I found any...
Well, I biked everywhere in Athens, so I was running on top of biking in Athens. Which is why I was 20 pounds lighter than I am now.
Sure.
Possibly 25. I put on like 5 pounds since quarantine.
You've gotten old enough, your metabolism slowed down.
No, I've been doing massive amounts of physical therapy.
Yeah.
Dr. Hahn, it's a guy I kind of knew from back in the day.
Yeah.
Has become this world-renowned physical therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Worked with the Steelers, Cirque du Soleil. He's with LAFC now.
Yeah.
Who are favored to win the Corona Cup, by the way. But he's amazing. And he's just whooping my ass.
Yeah.
He discovered the jacked up toe, which no one had ever really put a finger on, which is why my hip got bad again.
Yeah.
Because the toe wasn't working, and he's been just destroying me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've heard about the So
I forget you listen.
Yeah, it's I also just I talk to Mike and whatever. I follow you guys, so
you know about the tennis balls.
Yeah, I know about the tennis balls. Yeah, haven't done the things, but
I can show you the thing. I got the magic.
Yeah.
But no, I've put on a lot of muscle since the past 3 months.
Yeah, I think I put muscle on during quarantine because for a female, I've always had the good metabolism. I'm just long and lanky and scrawny. I couldn't gaining muscle mass and keeping it was harder. Yeah. My metabolism has slowed down, but I think I gained muscle mass during quarantine because I wasn't as active, but I would do kettlebell stuff. Yeah. And more, I was significantly less active than normal, but I was still doing yoga and strength stuff, and I actually put muscle on, which is interesting, but I don't know if I'll keep it.
That's super cool.
Yeah, as long as I can do what I want to do to be happy and healthy and active, that's really, at this level, that's all I want.
Functional.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep.
All right, well, we might get rained out.
Yeah, I think
this is near the end, folks.
Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you for coming on, Ashley.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do this for years.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. The creator of the logo.
Yeah.
And one of the holders of the original 4 mugs.
That's right.
Yes.
I have a mug.
Yes, so you are
enjoy drinking coffee out of it.
OG member of Coffee Regular.
That's right. Go get your mugs, people.
Yeah, they're out now.
And stickers, man. Who doesn't like stickers?
We have stickers?
Yeah, you have stickers.
Holy shit, I gotta get one. Okay. All right, everybody. Keep your coffee regular. Peace out.